What up, everybody? It's April Dawn. Let's talk about it. This is Black Lightning Season 2, Episode 13, Pillar of Fire. Right, this was a pretty good episode. We got a little action going on. You know, we got some plot lines starting to develop and open up, so let's go ahead and get into it. So we see Jennifer inside of the sanctum doing tests and experiments with Gamby and Jefferson. They're basically testing her power and seeing how strong she is, right? At 50%, she's stronger than Jeff was in his prime. And so when Gamby says this, Jefferson is like, how you gonna do me like that? I'm saying in my prime. What you mean, like in your prime? I'm just saying that she's like really, really powerful, and she's like a nuclear bomb. She overloaded or overheated the sanctum, and the sanctum can hold the power like of a nuclear bomb. So basically, she's very, very powerful. She's extremely powerful, and she has to learn how to control that power. Lynn is looking at some blood. She's in the lab working with the pod kids, and Odell pays her another visit, and he tells her that he knows that she's hesitant about moving the pod kids. You know, they decide to move the pod kids on the last episode. He says the only way she's going to help is if he tells her the truth about everything that's going on. So since Odell knows the value of Dr. Stewart, he starts to tell her about Markovia, and Markovia being the center of all evilness in the universe. And basically they've been working on a metadata program for many, many years. You know, they couldn't stabilize the metahumans, so they put them to sleep. And now since Lynn is working on science to help stabilize the pod kids, that the Markovians are looking to kidnap her and use her and force her to do it for their metahuman program, create an army so they can become the most, you know, the most powerful nation in the whole world. Now, when Odell said something about, or she said something about, well, why they want to kill Nyssa, and he was like, well, you know, you can't have people running around shooting lightning bolts at people and so forth and so on. So he kind of hinted to, or gave, you know, like a little bit, put a little bit towards the idea that he may know that Anissa is thunder and that Jefferson is Black Lightning. Who knows? I don't know. Did y'all catch that? Let me know what you thought about that part. Or did I just misunderstand something? Because sometimes, you know, I'll be hearing y'all be correcting me, and, you know, y'all be right and I'll be wrong, okay? One of her other stipulations is that she keeps Jace away from her. So she don't want Dr. Jace nowhere near her. Dr. Crazy, nowhere near from her. Nissa is walking around Grace's house trying to find clues, evidence, anything of her being missing. And she finds a pill behind a table or underneath a rug, child, or something like this. Then we see Henderson walking Gamby around this dark, deep tunnel basement, I don't know, somewhere underground, and there's some depressions on the ground that left this purple residue, and they're trying to figure out what could have been there. So this is where apparently, you know, the Leavenworth prisoner pod people, those metahumans, the Markovian thing situation, they that's their pod. The pods from, or where those pods from? Yeah, from Leavenworth prison. But were they from Markovia, or was they from Freeland? Child, I don't know. Okay, so the old people, the people that he got right now, okay, the ones that Tobias moved, that's where they previously were. So they previously were in this place, and you know, Henderson, of course, he gonna be late. You know how the police be the last people to find out what's going on, child. So he walking them around, and they trying to figure out, you know, what this substance is that's on the ground. And he figures out that they have some type of power source. He says if it's pods, that it's not like any he's ever seen before. Tobias and Cutter are talking, walking and talking, you know, about Dr. Jace and how Dr. Jace created a serum to wake the guys up out of the pods. I thought that's kind of like a really cut in the storyline to just say, well, she created a serum that's going to wake up the people that's in the pods, the metahumans or whatever. And I'm like, well, isn't this what Lynn been working on this whole like 2 seasons, and she just made a serum? Like, what? Dr. J's done created a serum that's gonna wake these people up. How you gonna control them? Okay, well, I have this watch, you know, and he click on the watch and it like deactivate the person and they just fall out or whatever. So that's how he gonna control the people. This is the questions that we had last week. How is he gonna control these people? So yeah, he have something with the how he, you know, he wake them up and then he can like snap them and make them fall out or whatever. It's implants they have inside of them. That's what it is. The implant that they have inside of them so that he can control them. He can turn them off when he wants to turn them off, basically. So they decided they're going to wake up Marcus Bishop. Now this dude, he been in a lot of stuff. He was in, what he was in, y'all? Was he in The Game? Was it The Game? No, he was in something else. He was something else that he was in when he was younger. But anyway, they wake up Marcus Bishop. Somebody tell me who read comic books, like what's this person name in the comics, because I feel like he have a comic book name. So he can control vibrations. So obviously he jumps out the thing. He started fighting both of them, you know, so they fighting him or whatever. And Cutter tries to cut him, and she like throw the knife at him, and he like stops the knife and turns the knife around like he's gonna kill her. And that's when Tobias stops the fight. And she like, well, damn, you could have stopped a little bit sooner. I mean, sheesh. Tobias like turns him off, literally turns him off, and he like falls to the ground. And this is at Gamby. She's trying to do some research on Grace and try to find out some information about her. You know, being that she's gone, Gamby comes in and you know, she tells him that she's looking for Grace, and you know, he's like, wow, this sounds like more than you're just dating or whatever. Pretty much like you love her or you really care about her. And she was like, I just feel like she's in trouble, and you know, she's just like, well, I want to find some relatives. Maybe I could find somebody who looked like her that could, you know, we can find out some information. She also gives Gamby the pill and asks him if he could run a check on the pill for her. At school, Jeff is teaching. The kids get up to leave, and one of the boys stay back and say, you know, you should be teaching the school or whatever. You should get your job back. And he was like, no, I mean, you know, the school needs somebody that's going to be here. I wasn't here when y'all needed me the most. And he was like, well, you know, this school has always been about second chances. So when do you get your second chance, right? When Jefferson leaves the class, Napier shows up. That's the guy from the board, Robert Townsend, if you know the actor's name. He shows up, and instead of bad news, he has some semi-good news. So basically what happened last week with Jennifer and the protest, that video went viral. It went all over the internet. And so now the board is getting heat for the way that he's talking to the children. They feel like he don't have the temperament to take, you know, to really care about these kids and do a good job. So now they about to call him in for like this meeting, and basically Jefferson could get his job back. So Jefferson is all excited about it, and you know, he thinks, you know, he's thinking about what happened, the consequences and all that stuff, and you know, he gets excited he could possibly have his job back. Odell comes into the lab, and Lynn tells him that she might have found something that can wake up the Pod kids and stabilize them. She's working on it, but she needs to, you know, she needs a little bit of time to do it with one girl or whatever. And so he's like, no, we need to move the Pods tomorrow. It's important. We got to get them out of here. You know, we can't risk people knowing where we are. And she was like, I really need this. And he was like, no, we're doing it tomorrow. Tobias is in there talking to Jill Scott, and Cutter comes down the stairs, and they basically going back and forth about their relationship that they had at one time. She says that, you know, the reason why she took the job, maybe she didn't want to be a solitary, you know, killer out here anymore. So Cutter got a heart. Okay, who in the world could ever love Tobias, child? But he was just like, I gave you the job because I trusted you, and you know, Jill Scott, she trusted you, Jilly from Philly. So you know, she trusted you too. So I trusted you, and you was the best person for the job. Like, he didn't say he loved her and he cared about her or nothing. But she said she didn't want to be lonely no more. So, like, girl, it's Tobias. No, sis. That's not the look, sis. Okay? They figured out that the Pods are about to get moved. Tobias is worried because the briefcase is connected to the Pods. He don't know if that can be affected. So he was like, we going in there. And he was like, we going in there with a little hell with us. I said, uh-oh, it's about to be a mess, child. Uh-oh. So Lynn tells Jeff that she's moving Pods. She tells him that she didn't have any choice. This is what they're doing. They have to do it. She don't have no say so in that. And she said she telling him that she might have found a way to stabilize the Pod kids and they could wake them up permanently. He also tells her about Napier and him possibly getting his job back. And they talk about Jennifer and her adjusting and, you know, trying to be able to control her powers. Like, they have a really nice talk, and they laughed and they hugged and they kissed. I was like, oh, this is nice. Like, it's nice to have a moment where they could just like relax and just like be, you know what I'm saying? Tobias and Marcus, you know, they go back and forth. Cutter, 21st, welcome to the 21st century, and he break out the chains they have him in, and he like, listen, I'll beat you up again if I have to beat you up again. So he said, I'm trying to make you a business proposition, and Marcus is like, child, you ain't making me no business proposition. You the same as everybody else. Y'all do the same trifling stuff or whatever. So he was like, I have a task for you to complete. If you can complete this task, you know, I will give you some money. If you don't complete the task, then, I don't know, you might be asleep again. I don't know, for 25 years. I don't know, friend. I don't know. Marcus ain't really got no choice at this point. Well, Jace meets with Odell. She wants to meet with Stewart to talk about how they're gonna move the Pie Kids and what they're gonna do going forward. And Odell is like, nah, she good. She not coming to no meeting. And she was like, well, you know, but I suggested that she come to the meeting. She was like, nah, I'm good. Like, I'm not going to. She not gonna come to no meeting. He tells her about they moving the pies tomorrow. He says that she is in custody, right? He's like, you are in custody with us to keep you safe from the Markovians, and you're going to remain in custody and, you know, kept in a safe place just in case. And she was like, just in case what? And he was like, just in case they kill or kidnap Dr. Stewart. I was like, child, listen. One thing he know Dr. Stewart know how to do her job. That's one thing Odell do know. Jenna and Anissa have a nice little sister talk. She talk about how it's not fair that Tobias is alive and Khalil, you know, is dead or whatever. And she was like, listen, I understand that you want to get back at him. You know, I'm not saying I'm agreeing with Dad or whatever, but one thing I do agree with Dad about is that Tobias is dangerous. You can't just go at him, and, you know, we can't get payback if he kill you. You know what I'm saying? For you get the payback, girl. So you got to relax, you got to lay low, and you got to chill out. I got you. So Jennifer was like, well, what's up with Grace? Like, you haven't said nothing about her. And she was like, I haven't found her yet. You know, I'm still trying to find her. I just feel like she, you know, in trouble. I'm worried. And she was like, and Jennifer was like, I mean, you know, I love you and everything, but, you know, maybe the girl just ghosted you. Like, maybe she just don't want to talk to you no more. Maybe she just don't want to be with you no more. Maybe it was too serious or whatever. And Jennifer, I mean, and Anissa has to sit with that for a minute. Like, maybe you just got ghosted, sis. Like, maybe, I don't know, maybe that's it. And then she gets a call from Gamby to go on down to the sanctum because he got some news for her about Grace. She tells Jennifer not to go nowhere, but we all know that Jennifer is not going to go anywhere. Lynn tells one of the aides to prepare Wendy Hernandez or something like that for surgery. She's about to wake her up or whatever, and she was like, do I need to run this by Odell? And she was like, girl, do what I said, do, girl. Ain't nobody saying nothing about no Odell. Do what I said. Jen goes to the 100 Club, and she start beating up people trying to find Tobias. So she done choked somebody up with the powers of the electricity, okay? And he said if he did know, the only person who would know would be this certain person. Jefferson and Lowry see each other in the hallway, and basically Lowry is like, listen, you're going to get your job back today or whatever. And he was like, you know, you aren't what these kids need. They need stability. They need consistency. They need somebody who is going to be here for them and not just disappear. And Jefferson kind of like sits with that for a minute. And I felt like that was really unfair because Jefferson, number one, he was out saving the world. Number one, they don't know that, but he was out saving the world. And number two, like, what if he wasn't saving the world? What if he was, like, actually on vacation? Like, would he be fired? We go through all of this if, like, he was on a real vacation? Like, I'm confused. Or did he, like, refuse to come in or something like that? You know what I'm saying? Like, it has to be something because I don't know, child. But anyway, Jefferson kind of feel guilty. You can tell that kind of affected him. Well, Anissa goes to Gamby, and Gamby tells her that Grace is a person that do not exist. Her name is Lou. What's her name? Hold up. Lou Wade. Okay? And she was, you know, in the foster home. She was, had false identities. She was sold into prostitution. Oh, child, she went through, okay? And she resurfaced as Grace. And, you know, he was like, this is it, since you want to find her or whatever. And he was like, are you sure you want to find her? Because, you know, she done heard a lot of stuff from you. And this is like, well, I mean, she don't know a lot of stuff about me either. Jefferson is in the meeting, and they're asking him, do they think that Lowry has a temperament or you the right, you know, leadership to lead the kids or, you know, be the principal of the school. And so he says that the kids need consistency. They need somebody who's going to be there for them. And he feels that at this time that Lowry is the best person to do that. I was like, really, Jefferson? Like, I felt like that was unnecessary because at this time, you ain't doing nothing. At this time, you ain't off saving nobody. You ain't doing nothing but getting recon, gathering. Child, I guess, okay, I guess, child. But I guess since he wasn't Black Lightning, that's how he was so good at his job, because he wasn't being Black Lightning. But now that he is Black Lightning again, maybe that's what he means. So he relinquishes control over to Lowry. Napier follows him out, and he tells him that he's very disappointed in him. And he kind of like berate him and tell him he shouldn't have did that. Jennifer arrives at the place where the guy told her to go, and she's ambushed. A whole bunch of cars pull up. The dude was like, hey, I was waiting on you. you. And a whole bunch of cars pull up, and she have to start beating people up and, you know, shooting fire and electricity everywhere. Gambi also tells Anissa that he analyzed the pill, and the pill is some type of pill for schizophrenia, and he was like, that's what I'm saying, like, you know, it's a lot of things you don't know about her, girl. Is she schizophrenic? And it's probably something that helps with the two different, you know, personalities, the two different, you know, parts of herself, to get them to just be one and like even her out or whatever. But she still want to look for the girl child, so I was like, oh girl, go on, find Grace. Is out there fighting, she handling business, she doing her thing. She choked one of the dudes up in the air, and he was like, listen, if I knew where Tobias was, I wouldn't tell you, because he's just gonna kill me like he killed Painkiller. And so she passes out because she gets so mad, and Anissa comes in at the right time to help and, you know, knock the gun, because the dude picked up the gun like he was gonna shoot her. We see Cutter and Marcus, they breaking into where the pods are, where Lenny is, the lab and the facility. Jace sees the bodies laying on the ground in the hallway, and she knows that they're coming, so she's all excited about it or whatever. She getting happy. She activated the emergency lockdown on Lynn so she could be locked in the room with the Pie kids, and the door closes on Lynn with the girl Jennifer, with the girl Maria that was waking up, or she was still asleep, but they was trying to, you know, let her rest. She calls Jeff and lets Jeff know what's going on. It's an attack going on or whatever, and she can see the attackers coming, you know, on the video. She can see them coming into the room. Cutter lets Jace in, and she tells him that the ASA is moving the Pie kids, and the briefcase is connected to the Pies. Marcus recognizes her when she comes into the room, and he like screams at her, you did this to me, you know, you messed me up. And she says some smart remark about, you know, what she did to him, and like he ifs at her, but, you know, Cutter is like, don't do it. And they deactivate Jace's ankle bracelet, and they run out of the room. And you can tell that when Marcus was leaving the room that this just did not sit well in his spirit. Okay, he was looking like, this ain't right. This ain't what it is. So as I said, Napier stopped Jeff in the hallway after the meeting, and he tells him, you know, Jeff tells him the students deserve more than he can give at this time. So, you know, he just needs to let Lowry implement the plan or whatever, and try to implement it fully before they can evaluate it. He gets the message from Lynn about the attack that's going on at that very moment. So we see Jen, she wakes up at Gambi's. She said that she's sorry. She couldn't just stay at home, but she had to go do something. And, you know, then this is trying to tell her, girl, you cannot be out here living like this, girl. You can't be out here doing this, girl. You don't know your power. You don't know how strong you can be. Anissa gets a call from Jeff about Lynn and the attack, and so she activated, and she ready to roll out. So Lynn is waking that patient up. She's walking the patient, trying to get her to use her power to open the door. And so the girl, like, you know, did her power when she blew the doors open, and at the same time Jeff and them are coming in, or Black Lightning Thunder is coming in, and they come in there to get him, but they didn't get there in time to catch the criminals. Okay, the criminals got away. Nissa goes to Gambi, and she asks for Jen, but Jen is in her safe place with Maxine Shaw, attorney at law. And basically that whole scene was just to let us know that if Jennifer don't learn how to control her powers, like, she could literally explode. Gambi has found some footage of what has happened, and he recognizes Marcus, and then he figures out that the people was called the Masters of Disaster before they put him on ice. You know, the pods were, you know, they were put in pods, but the people said they killed him, but they didn't. So where are they? Tobias is walking around the pods with Jace and everybody. They're trying to figure out how long it's going to take to wake all the pods up, because basically what he's trying to do is have as many as possible that's coming in, because he's going to sell them to people all over the world to use as weapons. So he's going to be like a meta-human dealer is what he's going to be. Okay, this is the plan. He's trying to make money at the end of the day. I'm like, oh, okay, so he ain't trying to take over the world. He's trying to be a meta-human. He's trying to just be rich. And Jason's like, well, you know, I'm going to get some money for me too. And he was like, yeah, you know, I'm going to hook you up. Basically, if you do what you need to do, I'm going to hook you up. Tobias and Cutter, they're talking, and, you know, she walking around all sexily, and they talk about Tide, and Tide doesn't even know how to undo the pods, but he knows all this information, and he got a new car, and what she gonna get, honey? And she throwing her leg up like this to him, and I said, okay, girl, you gonna be out of there. While you soft for him, he gonna take you out like it ain't nothing. nothing. You see Ty driving in his new car down the street, baby, and then he go to do something, stop at the stoplight, the whole car blow up. I said, well, Ty, I mean, what you thought was gonna happen, baby? You thought you was gonna still be alive and just be playing video games, and you can't even undo the pies? What is your point? I said, well, I did feel like that was kind of like an easy way out to get rid of Ty. Like, I didn't like Ty, but I like Ty. You know what I'm saying? Like, I liked him being on the show. I just didn't like his character. But, I guess, I'm going to let them make it with the way they killed Ty. That was kind of easy. Overall, pretty good show this week. We got a lot of action, and the plot is finally starting to move along. We starting to see what the main goal and motivations of some of these characters are, okay? So let me know what you thought about this episode. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I will holla at y'all next week. Peace.